All right, Code Extreme day 4. Wow. Wow, we're on the other side of the fence. So so what a night last night. So thanks to Tunde for hanging out with me yesterday or late last night. So we're generating code and we're going through the code generation process and we came across quite a few bugs. And those were resolved, those have been resolved. But then we hit another snag. So I don't think we probably bit off a bit too much in regards to updating the templates right now, because the templates had quite a few bugs, and I spent quite too much time trying to debug the new template bugs, which I just fell asleep. It's late night and I'm debugging. By the time it rolls around to midnight, I'm just out. And so unfortunately, yeah, so I was scrambling. What do we do, right, with the new template? So early this morning, I went back to the old template, but left the new template code in there because I know that front end folks are going to want the new, SaaS stuff and other things that you've started. So that's what I was in the middle of just tweaking. And I think I'm just about done. I haven't been checking Slack, so sorry if you all Slack me messages between yesterday or yesterday evening and this morning. So I think we're almost there. My goal now is just to generate CLEPT and push it, whatever we have, and then we'll do the big reveal stuff another time. Let's just focus on the task at hand. So that's what's taking me a bit of time. I'll just show really quick my screen, the process I've had to go through, or what I'm looking at with the problem with the new template. So this would be the new template. Yeah, so I'm just running the new template by itself. So that what I should have communicated is that we're not looking at the new template as if it's an application in and of itself. We're looking at the new template that it's a template that it has to be reproducible and reusable. Yeah. So we had a few things on top of that wasn't quite working. So let me undo my attempt at bug fixes here. Yeah, there are just some things that weren't working. So like, for example, or just, weren't, good enough treatment. So for example, this is the profile, my profile. It's different from a template perspective. It doesn't have to be. It can be the same as the regular user's profile. And it also looks editable, and when I click the edit button doesn't work. And I wired this, but it wasn't working either. So there are just enough things that were not working that I was spending too much time debugging the template. So this was the old template. And whereas it is not as glamorous, it's plain, and I got that working. So then I went back and I generated, yeah, so this is the old template as I run it. So I'm going to get rid of that homepage. I kept this homepage, if I could see it. Nope, I'll show it to you. I kept the other homepage that was there. So I kind of did a blend of the old and the new, but this is what the old template looked like. It's not cool, but at least it's structured, right? It's plain and it's to the point. So what I was in the middle of, and I'll just share my entire screen. I was just in the middle of doing a full rebuild. So I'll just run that and then we can just talk. I'll show you that in the process. Let me shut off my notifications for a bit. Do not disturb. All right, so what I ended up doing, I downloaded Ripple, and I will share the Ripple file with you all. So I did get Ripple, and so this is the Ripple file, right, with everything like 600 and something lines of code. I uploaded Ripple to AppCrud, so I kind of just did not the push button launch, but there are two ways to launch from GoatSASS, right? You can push button and launch, which that code should be just about ready. So there's a push button and launch, and then there's the download the code and launch it manually. So I'm going the manual approach. What I'm doing here with generating the code, AppCrud would have, or GoatSASS would have done that for me already. So yeah, let me just start this while we do updates. So sorry, front end folks, and designers that we kind of, I didn't do, I just probably just didn't explain that properly what we're trying to do, but we'll just see what happened. So now this is downloaded code, right? CLEPT2, that's the folder I downloaded previously. I'm unzipping it now. I'm just making sure I can execute my scripts. So chmod 755, I'm going to run setup local. So I'm not doing the full launch where I'm pushing to GitHub and pushing to Heroku. I just want to run it on my local machine. So while setup local is running, it's just running meter install, all that fun stuff. Yeah. So while that is going on, let's just look at what else we have on the docket for today. So designers, how about you go ahead, Quinette and Latte. Quinette, Latte on the call.
Okay, yeah. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Okay, so I'm trying to. So we actually have more work done on the admin side. I'm trying to open up. Give me a second, please.
All right, let's run it. Are you going to share your screen, Quinette?
Okay.
Going to share your screen, or you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, okay, you can go ahead, but I can also share. That's no problem.
Actually, how about you share so that you can just walk us through?
Okay. All right.
Oh, so if you're watching my screen also, if you're watching my screen also, I've just downloaded the code from, so downloaded Ripple from GoatSASS, AppCrud generated the code, and now I'm running it. So we'll see what it looks like. I have to stop sharing. All right, Quinette, we can see I can see your screen.
Okay. So I think this for the properties, for the user side, I don't know, there is not so much at this point, just these same screens. So we are working on like showing like the property detail page, right? So where like users can see like the details of each property, right? Well, for like the admin side, what the admin can see, so they can see like a list of users, right? The ability to add user and all of that. So for the ability to add user, I don't know if we saw this yesterday. I think we did. So okay, you have like the ability to make a user private or public, enter the user information, and then upload like necessary documents and that's for that part.
So just a comment on the private public.
Sorry.
Just a first comment. Go back to the private public part.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's you're
Yeah.
there. That's Boolean, right? It's either private or public. It's either or. So I think
Yes.
I don't think two separate. That looks like I can check both check boxes. So let's just make that a toggle. So private account, and there are public. Pick one, and then just make it a toggle instead of making it like that. And then on the user details page, I should have the ability to give another user access. So just typing in their email address, give another user access to my profile, similar to the way we do it for GoatSAS. Yeah.
So are you saying that from okay from the details page, right? Not like from adding the user, right? From creating a user.
No, not from creating a user. Correct. From the details page.
Yes, so from the details page.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me note that down. Okay.
But Kino, this isn't for landlords, right?
Say
I
again.
give a regular user.
This giving access to another user thing is not for landlords, right?
Well, remember, everybody is a user. So if you're a user, you're giving access to landlords. So this is for a user in the tenant hat giving access to another user in the landlord hat.
Okay, sure. I just want to be clear on that.
Yes.
But these no admin pages.
Yeah, these are admin pages. So the admin can do the same thing now.
Well, technically, admin wouldn't have a need to do that, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is what what you're seeing here for the admin, looking at a user details and so forth. Is that what the user page would see as well, or the tenant or the landlord, the regular user would see the same thing?
Sorry, come again. I didn't get that question.
The UI, this design here that we
Yeah.
have for an admin seeing a
Okay.
user details, right? Or property details. Are we
Yeah.
just going to reuse the same design for a user seeing property details and seeing their own details screen, their own profile details?
Yes.
Okay.
Most likely would actually do that, yes.
Yeah. So that's the answer to your question, goodness. Not that an admin would give access to their profile.
All right.
Okay, wait, for what you're saying now, Kino, is the admin cannot give access to to like a separate user. But okay, let's say this Samuel now, right? And then
Yeah.
I want to see Samuel's profile. So the admin cannot give me access to see Samuel's profile, or else Samuel does that, right?
Oh, well, I don't think that's what goodness was at. So answer your question, yes. I don't think there's anything that prevents that. I mean, we'd have to write code to prevent the admin from doing that. And so let's not do that. Let's just, if the admin can do it, the admin can do everything. And then, we can talk to Frosty about shutting off what the admin can't do. But what I thought goodness was asking was that if the admin themselves would be sharing their admin profile, reviews with somebody else, but that's not relevant. But what you're saying, Quinette, is so yes to what you just said, which is not what I thought goodness said.
Okay. Okay. So you can also select a list of the properties. So you can search for a property, you can filter, you can add to the admin can add to like favorites, and then of course add a new property, right? So they also have the ability to like upload like a spreadsheet, right? So from here you're seeing, I know we talked about like properties having names, otherwise they are just going to be represented like by their addresses. So I don't know, is this correct, like the way we have it spelled out this way?
Or is the name two-story house is the name?
What?
Is two-story house the name of the property? When you say the
No.
property having a name, which one is the name?
No, two-story house is the type of. So
Okay.
the name is 166 Valley Street.
Well, that's the address.
Yeah.
So 166 Valley Street is address 1. Building 6M Suite 103 is address 2. And then that's a city state. You don't, yeah, so Rhode Island, RI is the same as Rhode Island. So you remove the word Rhode Island. So city,
Yeah.
state, zip. So that's not the name of the property. So where you see two-story house,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're gonna have that information easily accessible. So if you want to put a name for the property, that I think would be the best place to put the name. Where you have two-story house, just make that the property name.
Okay. So you're saying that this address is just where it's located at, right?
Yeah, that's the location.
Okay, so I remember we had this conversation of saying that what if like the property doesn't have a name?
So you're saying if it doesn't have a name, what then?
Yes.
But if it doesn't have a
Yeah,
name,
no,
sure.
the Pinocchio is on Discord, so
Latte,
I
your mic is
wanted to
unmuted.
ask her something very. Let me just
Latte, your mic
since
is
we're here.
unmuted though.
So what look at this list here. That is archives, yeah. Yeah, like
I'm just checking through on both sides now to see if I can just pass the certification and
Latte.
training designs. That's what I saw is archive. And then I actually do not understand how to go about it.
Then I don't know. I'm looking for a way to. When you minimize this page, like it looks like as if it is like scrollable. Like when
I don't see latte.
Like you can,
I don't know
if
why.
you press like the plus
what's
button,
happening.
it collapses. If you
You
press
guys
You know,
the-
you can mute them.
Oh, I'm not seeing him on my thing at all.
this is a long form,
Is
right?
it Latte or Obi now?
And there's going
think Queenet is coming from your end.
pulling.
Are you on a meeting with them? Mute the meeting now.
Yeah.
From my end?
So now,
Queenet.
Yeah, Quinn is coming from you. Oh, yeah, it was coming from you, Quinn.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think I was on a call on Figma with them before I joined this meeting, so they just started talking. Okay. But you can still see my screen, right?
Yes, you can still see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, so back to the conversation of if the building doesn't have a name, because I know I asked that question and then I think your response was that we could actually replace it with the address, just like Xylo has it.
Okay.
Yes. So as for I don't know, the two-story house is just to show like the type of property. So what do you think? Are you saying that that's not necessary?
Well,
Or it
not
could
that it's
just
not necessary. I'm
secondary
just
information.
wondering if that's information that's always going to be available. So, the fact that, let's say it's well, it wouldn't be a two-story house, it would be two-family. So, so a two-family, it could be a condo. So it could be 166 Valley Street, apartment 1, but you may not know that that is a part of a two-family or three-family. So because you may not have that information, I think where you have two-story house, that's a better place to put the name. If there's no name, just leave it blank. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think that works.
Cool.
Okay, so they can see like a list of their favorites. They can see like the archive. So I know when we did this one time, I think it was on Habitly, where we had like an open archive button separate. Then the developers were like, we should just add it to like the filter, so you can just filter by archive. So do you think like that's what we should do here, as opposed to like having the open archive button
Yes,
separate?
I agree.
Okay, so we should just have like a filter to say
Yes.
Filter by archive too.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So
No, like
doesn't
it
that
show
even
all,
mean
it can show
Okay.
all, show only archived, or show only unarchived, and that's good.
okay?
Mhm.
What about like filtering by favorites? Or we should have like a separate button as we do right
Yes.
now.
Yeah, so favorites, let me see your site. That should be a menu thing, a menu icon. That should be a
Oh,
menu.
really?
Yeah, so you click on it and you go to your favorite properties or something like that.
Hmm.
Under properties, maybe you could have favorites. Yeah. Like Upwork, right? There's like a separate button you click and you go to your favorite section.
But favorite, if you put it on the side nav, as you have said, should it just be a drop down under properties, or it should actually be on its own? Because if you're saying it's on its own, wouldn't that also mean that?
Well, actually, the favorites, how we designed the database for favorites, right? It's a different collection, it's a different data tape, a different set of records than the list of properties. So it's just a reference. So here, development wise, it'll be more work to put it here because it has filter by favorites, which we could do that, but it would just be a lot simpler to just have a separate favorites page. Just like this, like really there's nothing different on your favorites page, except that there's no add property, there's no upload, not upload spreadsheet, but upload properties, plural. There's no upload properties, there's no add property, there's no filter, right? Just the search, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. So I think then for the property detail page, right? So for the property detail page, we have like the ability to edit this property from here, archive, delete, see the current landlord, and then you can change the owner. So say one landlord is no longer the landlord for some reason, maybe sells it off. So we can always change that from here.
Yep.
Yeah, someone else claims it, yes. So we can change that from here. You see the reviews, you can turn off a review basically, right?
Oh, that's where you hide the, if you're
Then
gonna hide the review. Gotcha. Nice.
Back on. You get verified users too. So it should only be shown like from like the verified users. Then you see like the features of the property, and then this history of like activities that went on this like property page, on this property. So I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we also have like adding a new property. So you have the name of the property, the landlord, address 1, address 2, city, state, zip code, and
Yeah, you're not going to enter that long. That long is automatically generated.
Oh, okay. So like, so you're saying we shouldn't have a field for it, or it should just like
no field for
generate
it. No field for that long. Oh, I mean, this is adding a new property, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so no field for lat long, no field for overall rating.
Okay. Can I go ahead with this?
Oh yeah, continue.
Sorry,
Okay.
you mentioned no field for overall rating. Do I think on both sides overall rating? That's where you had the list as running house, 1 story, 2 story.
Yeah, but the overall rating is calculated. based on the ratings of the other, based on the reviews that were given, that overall rating is calculated. If that makes sense. So this is an edit screen, so we're not going to add it manually. It's an auto-generated field, which is displayed on the detail screen, not the add edit screen.
So are you saying burning house, 1 story, this represents rating?
I'm sorry, say
Because
that-
those were the details of the list: burning house, 1-story house, 2-story house, 3-story house.
Yes.
So I'm asking if these represented ratings.
Yeah, those represent reviews. Yeah, I should have changed the word from rating to review, but those represent the reviews. So on the detail page, you'll see one, burning house, and all those different things, but we are not going to manually enter that field. That makes sense?
Sorry, is this still confusing?
Yeah.
It's a bit fuzzy. Because I'm trying to understand. So you're saying that overall rating was basically ratings given by a user to that property.
Okay. You go to Amazon, right? And you look at an item, and the item has 3 stars out of 5. Yeah, that's the overall rating. And when you drill down, you can see what the individual users rated that product. So that's the same relationship. So Amazon, when it's adding a new product, doesn't add the overall rating for that product. It's a calculation based on the ratings that were given so far. It's an average.
Okay, now I understand. So within that rating, that's where we have 1 star, 2 star, 3 star.
Say that last part again.
Yeah, so I said so within that overall rating, that's where you have if it's a 1 star, or 2 star, or 3 star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't want to use star. He wants to use a little house. A little house icon. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring the conversation back to the topic of the profiles. I just had a question as well to echo that. When we look at the most complex case, which is a tenant landlord that has both, potentially they should have 2 sets of reviews for that one person. Is that, implied for, maybe it'll be blank if someone's just a tenant at some point in their life. So I guess just to, take care of the most complex case.
Let me answer and tell me if I got your question correctly, Kevin. So if you're looking at if an admin is looking at someone's profile and that person is a tenant and a landlord, based on the reviews that they have, or based on the fact that they own a property and they have given a review on the property, then the admin will see both their reviews. That will be the most complex case on the details. If a tenant or a user is looking at somebody else's profile, not from the point of view of a landlord, but looking at someone's profile because they own a property, so they're a landlord, then they're only going to see their landlord reviews. If a landlord is looking at a tenant's profile or a user who has given that landlord access to their profile because they want to rent from them, then that landlord will only see their profile from the perspective of the reviews as that landlord has given to that tenant, right? So the context of what's seen is based on who is looking at it. So they're either going to see both sets of reviews or either or, based on who is looking at it.
Okay, but potentially another landlord tenant could also see. The system wouldn't know what their objective is, I guess, right?
Oh,
in that situation.
So you're saying if a landlord is just browsing through the system,
potentially,
and looks at a property with a landlord, but that landlord could also be the tenant that gave them access, so they'll see 2 pieces of information?
Yeah, potentially.
That's a good question. Could you note that? So we can ask Frosty what to do in that scenario. But let's not add any code to prevent anything. It will just display both. But I
Yeah.
don't think that's the right answer. But let's just put a note
Okay.
so we can ask. Because the only, I can only see the only problem with that could be that, well, the tenant didn't want to necessarily tell the landlord that they own property as well. Because it's really none of their business, right? But then what's the worst case scenario if they know that? So yeah. So yeah, we need to figure out what to do for that. Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Steve.
You know, I don't think that really should be a problem, considering we already established that landlord information is open source information. So there's really nothing to, whether they know or they don't know, or we know or we don't know, it really doesn't count, because they could do a random search on you and basically find all the properties you own. So it's not like it is personal. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I can't really think of a reason to do anything. Yeah.
Okay, so can I go ahead, please?
Yeah, continue.
Okay, so from here on, I click next, and then I don't know. You can look at these informations too. So the square footage, yard square footage, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, parking, appliances, pool, laundry, and all of this information.
Cool.
Information. This good?
Yep, that was great.
Okay,
Yep.
and you can go ahead add that. So it just adds up, and then so to edit a property, so you can edit the name, landlord, pretty much same information.
Yeah, just remove rating and remove lat long.
Okay. I added that, but let me just add it again, please. Okay. So uploading a CSV. So uploading a CSV file, right? So you can just drop it here and then import. Gives you this screen to show that it's uploading. From here, of course, you can cancel.
Please go back for me.
Then, where? Here?
Go back. Yeah, go back one more, please.
Yeah.
And so how you get to that by clicking upload, and you get to this page separately, and you click on import. Okay, and
yes.
So from so this design is cool, and scroll to the next one. All right, this is cool. So backend and so implementation wise, this is a great place to shoot for. But if we need to start with good old click it, you drop the file, and you're done, that's fine. Right? So if we don't have the time to do this treatment, it's okay that the previous screen, go back again, Kunit. This previous screen here, where you just click import, you grab the file, and you're done here. That's good enough. I don't think the upload will be, well, no, that's not true, because you could upload, you know, a million, technically you could upload a million properties. So it would need for some sort of progress bar. But if that's going to add, I'll put that treatment, as great as it is, as a lower priority over something else, like adding a review.
Okay. So as you said, right, I feel like this might not exactly come up all the time. If the files are not very heavy, it could just like upload like one time, right? But I guess the reason why we even had this is like to show the progress of your upload, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, what you did is correct. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah. I'm just
Okay, so
thinking in terms of prior implementation, that an error message, a pop-up error message would suffice. But this is absolutely perfect.
okay. So yeah.
Mhm.
So it shows you if like an error occurred, and then I don't know if it's possible to like specify what roles failed, but like this is what we have. Then successfully uploaded. Can I there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I'm asking if this is good.
That's perfect. Love it.
So we
Just
can
have a few
go
typos,
ahead.
but that's all right. We'll catch that. Philip will catch that.
What?
I say you just have a few typos, but Philip will catch it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
there's a word there,
okay.
but in there, matching fields, but is BU. But that's
Where?
me. Columns can be in any order, but the names have to match.
Oh, I see. Yeah, let me do that quickly. So this is where we are at the moment. My profile. So what's missing now is just the reviews and then the dashboard. So the dashboard is a thing that we're still saying, okay, do we necessarily need it or not? But this is what we currently have. We are still going to like fill out. Then if it's not necessary, I think we can just do away with it when we are done. But yeah, it's just to give like an overview of how many properties are in the system, how many landlords, tenants, and all the reviews.
What would
Then
you
you can
put in
see
the white space? If you put the top rated stuff and you move that up, and that's good enough,
okay.
right? And then how do you guys normally put like from the dashboard you can add a property, or from the
Yes.
dashboard you can add a user. That's good enough. And again, this dashboard would be, this is an admin only dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of that would be available.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have top rated properties, you'd have top rated landlords and top rated tenants is what you would have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the top rated landlord automatically gives you the top rated property, but not the other way around. So you could have 3 of them if you think that's a good UX thing to have, but top rated landlord, top rated tenants seems good enough.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So any other information we need to, we would, but for now I think it's just what we have while we concentrate on like the high priority pages. So yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of today again we should have like more stuff added to this.
Yeah. So I think we're at the, I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's it basically.
Okay, cool. Well done. So I think we're at the point where designer folks can start doing code. And so just give me an hour or so and I'll have GitHub all set up and I'll invite everyone to the repo. So OJ, goodness, forgive me. I had to pull out some of the default stuff that you had, but I'm leaving all the other files that you added. So that's going to be the same, but just the default generated code will look a little bit different. So give me an hour or so. I will have that done, which means I may miss stand-ups. So if the others are other stand-ups, the ones that are currently paying our bills. So if you have any questions for me, just Slack me. I think it might owe you an answer re our other project. So I'll get that to you as quickly as possible. But I just make this my priority now. And I just spend like an hour and get it done. Goodness, OJ, I might ping you just to walk you through what I did and why I did it. And then yeah, we should be good to go. I think we're going to see a lot of the things that Quinnet did is already some framework for it. Quinnet and team wasn't just by herself. So thanks, Quinnet, for not using a lot of pop-ups, because that does really make it segue really easily from generated code to, what we have. And we didn't need a lot of pop-ups anyway, because pop-ups models, because we didn't have a lot of those screens that had small information. So we are behind what we thought we were going to be, but we may just be just on time for what we need to get done. All right. Any questions before we go? Day 4, Code Extreme.
Yeah, please, just a quick one. For when one wants to upload a property, is it the documents, the supporting docs, are those demanded before you can upload or accept the property, or it's something that you can come and do later on?
Uploading from the CSV file is an admin only feature.
Oh no, not upload. I didn't mean that. Like I meant add. Yeah, whether it's add or clean.
Yeah. I think when you add a property, it doesn't become live automatically until it's approved. Yeah. And so it's not approved until you also upload the supporting documents. So is a question behind your question that in the add property screen, it should also have a section that's only shown to the user for adding supporting documentation.
No, not necessarily. I was actually thinking of the data structure and thinking of how some of those data pieces would be dependent on each other is why I was asking that.
Oh, well, let's look at it.
But definitely what you just asked about also comes into considerations.
Yeah. Let's bring it up real quick. All right. So you asked for properties. So I dropped this on Slack yesterday. Or this is what we did yesterday. We have this concept of last addresses, yeah? So if I am a user who owns a property, thereby making me a landlord, in my profile, I have the concept of, where is it? Nope, so I'm looking at property. In my profile, I have properties owned, yeah? So in this list of properties owned, I have from, to, and validation documents. Oh, I also missed address. I'll add address. So the property from, to, and some validation documents. And if I'm a tenant, then it's the opposite. Last addresses lived at, from, to, and some validation documentation. So that's how it will be structurally. But you are correct, from a design piece, we're missing the part where we can upload the validation documents. So the validation documents I'm talking about, designers, is not the same as the identity validation documents, which you captured on the profile screen. What you didn't capture was the property validation document. So documents uploaded to prove that I own it, or documents to prove that I live there. Where would you put that information? I think on the edit screen, the upsert screen is a good place to put it. Ituna, what do you think? Upsert or details? But if I'm a landlord adding the property, I just add my validation documents one time and then I save it. And then on the details page, I can view my validation documents, whether I'm the landlord or even whether I'm a tenant. I can see my validation documents for that property, and the admin can, of course, see validation documents for a property on the details screen.
Do tenants have validation documents?
Yeah, to prove that they live there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the requirement for them to be able to post what do you call it?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, got it. I guess that's it from me.
Yeah, that's a good question because we missed that. So let's move this up. And so here, all right. Right, cool beans. Thanks, Itunu. That's a good one. All right, folks, give me an hour or so, and we'll be.
I can.
Oh, sorry, goodness.
Yeah, so based on the, okay, also completely understandable about the template. We can get back to that after this week, like get back to our part. But right now, based on those designs, we can start breaking down those cards into the way the UI can be implemented. At what point, like to save time, is something we can start on now. Would those cards be going on the RI Trello board, and can we get on that now, like from the front end, the UI perspective?
Okay, so good question. So within the hour, once I push code to GitHub, then you can certainly start working on that. Then I just need to confirm with Paula and Kevin that acceptance criteria are done. And then literally at the push of a button, we'll have their Trello board set up and Paula will add everybody to the Trello board. So the code is going to be on GitHub, I think before the Trello board is done, because Paula is going to be doing stand-ups in my stead. And so after stand-up, Paula will add you all to the Trello board. I'll do it as well. So within the next hour or two, everybody will be added. The Trello will be done, and everything will be all set. We do have a meeting on the books today, another meeting. I'm not going to cancel that one. I think we need it just as a mid check-in. So the one that's at 11:30 Eastern, we're going to keep that meeting today.
Okay.
Yeah. And so before then, all of this should be done. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And designers, if before then you can have your stuff, done, cleaned up, then, and Philip, help with the QAing, the grammar and text. Remember you're using US English for our text, and we should be good. All right, go team. Code Extreme. Jeremiah, we need a sign for Code Extreme. You look like that. That can come for the sign. Is it CS? Give us a sign for Code Extreme, Jeremiah. That's your task. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay,
All right,
bye.
bye.